Hi y'all, welcome to my channel. This is Gina. I have been working with some mixed media. Um, I've been dabbling with it here and there, and it intrigues me. So I had made me a journal. This is my first journal that I've made in a mixed media project. I've been watching a lot of Tim Holtz and Finnabar videos and just intrigued with it. And today is just my project share, what I've made. It took me a little bit to make because I'm still learning. I'm gonna start changing up my videos and start learning how to do some process videos on how I process a journal and how I process a board or a canvas or any type of object. I have done a couple of them, and I'm going to show you another project that I've done for a special person in my life. This is my first journal that I put together. This is a hardback I did with chipboard, and I had used this 3D embossing folder from the Tim Holtz collection. Um, I guess this is called alterations. I did the front cover with that, and this is the back. And I had used some dies from the Chaos Crafts. These are the latches, and I used what do you call it? I used my waxes. I used some of this antique from Little Birdie Wax. It's kind of like this. And it's a wax, and I just use my finger with it. I have a brush also that I purchased. They're brushes from Finnabar Prima Market. I used the little brush to do the whole book after I had painted it with let me see, for the texture, for the what do you call this, the acrylic paints that I used in the book, on the book, was the metallic green. This is the emerald green, and I used the royal red, and I don't know if you can see that, by Prima, and this is the royal red. And then I used the metallic deep water. Oh, this is very beautiful color. Very beautiful color. And I made my my molds from the Finnabar Prima molds. And yeah, I fell in love with it. Oh, I'm still in awe with it. And then I used a die cut and chipboard. These are all from the molds, the bolts right here, and I used the molds, made the nameplate, and these come from the bolts from Frank Garcia line. And this is just a die cut that I bought Um, the die was from Little Birdie. I'll link everything at the bottom of the description box below. And I had placed an old watch of mine that I've had, and it stopped at 11:05. And the reason why I did, because this die was almost at 11:05. See, so I said, well, I had already broken it all up, and I used a bottle cap to set it inside. So don't judge me, because this is my first one. And I had also did the stitching all through the book that I've learned from videos from, what's her name? Bohemian Crafting. I had, yeah, I fell in love. I love her channel too. And I just decorated it with some of my beads that I had, and a little key, and I made a little tassel for the binding of the book. And when I started this journal, I actually started making this a year ago. This is the bronze aging wax that I used for the cover. And I had gessoed it black first with the heavy gesso, and then I went from there with the painting, and then I let it dry, and then I put the bronze on after everything was dried. And with the die cuts here, I used my gold flakes. I bought them on Amazon. And these is what I use of the Kinko. And yeah, this, I had to get these are the latches, the hinges, that's what they're called, the vintage hinges by Chaos Crafts, and there's the number, and you get like 4. And yeah, so, and I just used my wooden beads to make my tassel. I had another tassel, but it was too heavy, a beaded tassel. So, and I'm still working. I'm thinking that this is the Sizzix die that I used, and that is to a 3D embossing folder, the Mechanicos, or Mechanics. Yeah, Mechanics, and the front was Fondery. And that was the front cover. I'm sorry, this video is all over. And this is what I use. Now, I found out with this one, you can use it either way. And I kind of fell in love with it in 2 different ways. This is an example. I turned the 3D folder around on this tack that I made. I did the alcohol inks on another video, and I tried it, the alcohol lift inks, and I had made this tack to place into a journal. So yeah, so this is, and I'm thinking still to put some gold around this. I don't know. But this is, I wanted to put some eyelets in, but I couldn't because it's so thick. Like this right here, my eyelet barely went in. And then, yes, I tacked it down with some E6000. And I still got some filling to do in my journal. My little paper clip dress that I made. I hid that. And making the paper and doing my swaps, it was just take some time. So yeah, and I had just made some envelope pockets and this and that. This was a download file, and I just kind of basically just did different pockets, and I'm still working the inside of this. I did some stenciling with this one, and she says, I feel so lucky. And I like that how it says woman here on a piece of paper. And I'm still working on this, and I just filled this up with some little, my beads are falling off, stuff that I download. And yeah, another little pocket envelope that I made and decorated. And this was a vintage, I did this on cloth, and I didn't let I put the collage on the ruffle that I wanted. So yeah, I'm still working on this. Just, they take a long time to make. So I just still have a lot to do. And on this side, I did this in the green in the back. I really fell in love with this, and again, I used the flakes, the Kinko flakes in it. My favorite was the blue. It's so beautiful. I love the color. And like I did say, I used my waxes from the Little Birdie. This is pewter. And when you open them up, that's the color. And this is the silver. So yeah, I think I had 4. Oh, the gold. Yeah. And this blue was this one, which is the deep royal blue. And that's a beautiful color, y'all. Blue's my favorite color. And I just used one of my brushes to do the wax, like I said, on all of it. My other project that I did for my sister-in-law, my brother had passed away like 15 years ago. So I took one of his photos and I had a bunch of these boards, and I had made this. And I kind of went with the what's the word I'm trying to say? I went with what he liked. I used the light bulb for light, and I inked it with some alcohol ink. This is some frame that I had, and I just backed it up with some chipboard to slide his picture in and out if she wanted to change it, and I laminated it. So yeah, And I used some of my um, gears and stuff that I had. This is the same heart from Frank Garcia. I went with more what he did in his life because he liked to fish, and I put some little hooks up in here in the frame because he loved fishing. As you can tell, he had a fishing hat, bass hat, and he was the star of her life. She will always love him. I mean, she will never remarry, she said. And he did a lot of AC electrical work, so I put some of these in there. These are some pipes and fishing weights because that's what he loved. And I made these flowers. I die cut them. There's the same that I used on my book. It's a slimline die, and I just cut it with my cracker boxes or cereal boxes. And these were dies that I cut out of aluminum foil. And these are just little art stones that I got from Prima by Finnabar. It's Mega Art Stones. They're real light. And I just kind of filled in from the corrugated box that I laid these on top. And this is a collage paper. It's the Avery from Tim Holtz line. And yeah, and I collaged it to the board, and then I stenciled it with some dots, and I stenciled this area with chevron, and I kind of mixed it in with my mica powders, and that's what all that is, mica powders. And then I used a light, the pewter on the wax here, and then I added waxes to these, to the leaves. That's the pewter and the gold mixed in, and I really like how it turned out, y'all. And those are just his initials. Those wooden are hard to figure out which is the YLL, you know. It was hard, and I was like, is this the yeah, the letters. Yeah, but, and I also wanted to show you that I did use, this is the Mechanica bolts that I used for my book on making gears. And those are all the gears that you get on this one. And then I used this stamp set, and it is too by Finnabar on the Prima. So I bought this at Tuesday morning, y'all. Yes, because I used some stamping in here, and I used this also in the journal. And I have another Tim Holtz. I got a lot of stamps, y'all. I was stamping one night, just stamping and stamping and stamping. Yeah, so yeah, that's my sharing for today. And I'm going to try to start working on my, what do you want to say, process videos. Because I'm sure everybody likes to see how you process stuff like this. So it's intense. So that's my sharing for today, y'all, and come back and we'll try working on some process videos. Thank you for joining my channel today, and I would like to also thank you, my new subscribers here on my channel. Have a great weekend. Bye.